Okay, guys, hello. Welcome to the show. Today we're going to be watching Anaconda, and to go with it, not that it matches, but we're going to be doing some block printing. We have our ink right there. I got it off of Amazon, one of the few things I bought new. And then we have our fabric right there. We have our scrap fabric, both happen to be cotton canvas, upcycled from old projects. We have our roller that has been upcycled from a garage sale, our window pane from my bad, it's not a window pane, it's a glass pane from a frame, but it's been upcycled. We have our paint knife right there, also garage sale, upcycled. And then the other thing that we bought new, which you can also buy off of Amazon, it's the rubber block for carving. It did come as one big block, as you can see right there, but I needed a perfect circle for the bottom one, and how do you get a perfect circle? It's a square, so I had to cut that. And then the top piece I had leftover, and it worked out for this project. So, being eco, I feel pretty good. Right here you can see the pattern a little bit. It's a record, and there you can see it's a nameplate. You'll see it closer as I carve. That's about it though, so I guess let's get started. Okay, I did a bit of research, and granted, it's my first time, but like Julia Child said, we have to have the courage and our convictions, and together we're gonna get through this. Okay, so while I do this, I'm also gonna be watching Anaconda, the one with JLo and Ice Cube. Oh, and if I forgot to mention, the color is black that we're gonna be working with today, and the brand is Speedball right here. I'm gonna show you. It says fabric on there. It's you can't really go wrong. It's pretty dummy proof. Anyway, so we're gonna be watching Anaconda. I'm gonna be doing this, and at the end, I will show you the finished products, and that'll be that. This is the first block right here. It clearly says Gavin, and that is the record block that I was talking to you about. We did have to take the mirroring effect into account here so that it shows right on the fabric. Right there, I'm showing you. Well, in theory. So since it's our first time, we're not 1,000%, but I'm pretty sure I did everything right. So here I am putting on the ink. The thing is, we don't need too much, and since it's a small thing of glass, it's gonna be a little bit tricky, but we got this. We'll do it. So here I am. I have to spread this out all the way on the roller, but it can't be like gloopy. So here, yeah, I'm like trying to kind of take it all off because I did too much. We want it to be slightly tacky, but not like, how do I say this? When we roll our roller over the ink, we don't want it to look like a little maze. We want it to be less than that. That's still too like gloopy. And I'm just, here trying to get the right consistency. And then when I feel like that's good, I'm going to roll it the other way like that. So that way the corners are all loaded up with the ink and everything is smooth and consistent when I roll it over the block. Now, there's my block. Let's put our fabric right there and line it all up. And we're going to roll. Those lines you see right above there on the nameplate, I left those on purpose. They're called chatter apparently, but I think I left a little too much. We'll see when I press it down. Yikes. Definitely have to get a piece of cardboard after that. Let's flip this over. We're going to press it down. I did forget something, so I'll be right back. Okay, so what I forgot was this. I got it from a garage sale, also thrifted, and then I grabbed that cardboard so we don't have mistakes like that anymore on our fabric. Now that that's there, we're going to grab our muller. This one's glass. You can get them anywhere. I think they're like $20 on Amazon. And then we're just going to press and rub, but we want to hold the block firm so that it doesn't move. And you can't see it, but let me move my hand actually so you can go this way. Ta-da! Okay, so that's obviously way too light, but you can read the name at least. It has the name going the right way, so there's plus and minuses, but we have to do way better actually. I mean, for our first try, it's not bad, but let's go again. I'm hoping that just loading it up more will, fix the problem. Um, but I'm also starting to think it might be the heat where I am. For the consistency of the paint, it's starting to like get thicker on me. Kind of like when you use acrylic paint as a child and you leave it for a little too long, or like, you're taking too long with your masterpiece and the top layer kind of like turns solid, and then you poke it with the brush and underneath it's all like wet and moist still. So it's kind of like that. It's getting real thick, almost gluey like. Anyway, so let's just work with what we've got. Let's keep going. We've got a lot of paint and I don't want to waste it. Let's not waste. So I feel like we've got it good enough. We're going to turn it around. Oh, but here, see, like I loaded it up too much, but that's because it was gloopy. I don't think it's going to be clear, but let's see. Anyway, so we're going to be pressing. I'm just going to speed all this up for you and get right into the review. And then I'll show you the finished product and then I'll review that as well. So we're watching Anaconda, and it was made in 1997. I watched it on Netflix originally. It did take me a while to actually make this video and edit it, so it is on Max now, or HBO Max. For our 5 categories, as always, we have soundtrack, costume, cast, story, and special effects. For soundtrack, I was feeling generous at the time. It's a 0.5. It's for the flutes. The soundtrack, you could listen to it on YouTube. It's nothing special. It's just a lot of flutes. Costumes, again, nothing special. They were just regular clothes. But I did have to get -1 for JLo's eyebrows. I know it was the 90s, but not for me. And then cast, we have a point for Ice Cube. We have a point for young Danny Trejo. We have a point for young JLo. And a point for Owen Wilson, which brings it up to 4 points for the cast. And then, now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like we're going to also be generous and give a 0.5 for John Voight, just because he plays a good villain. So we'll bring that up to a total of 4.5 for the cast. And then the story, they have monkey blood in a few scenes. It's probably fake, but being an animal lover, that definitely is a negative point for me. And then a point for the semi-backstory on the bad guys, because, I enjoy a good backstory. I want to know what happened. I want to know how they got there. It was a point for me. I liked it. And then a point because they found their tribe at the end that they were looking for. I want to say it's like called the Shimishana people or something like that. So in grand total, a point, because, a negative for the monkey blood. And then for special effects, I'll give it a 4 because of all the different snakes. When one was attacking them, and then it had Owen Wilson in his stomach, and then the babies when they had the explosions. It was good. I enjoyed it. And then, being able to surround them and squeeze them because it's a boa. I enjoyed it. It was good. So that makes the grand total for Anaconda 9. And I don't know how high the points are going to go, but I highly recommend this movie. It's a classic. I know I didn't give good points for soundtrack and costume, but it's good. I recommend 5 stars all the way. Okay, and these are the results. So there's our first one, our glooped on second one, and it turns out our even glooped on more third one. That's the clearest, but I'm still not really liking it. And then we have our other block. I glooped that one on too. It's okay, but still not the clearest. And then that one's even lighter. I'm not feeling any of these. So we're definitely going to have to recarve those blocks. Just to show you what they look like, this is the nameplate at the end of the first round, and this is the record. A decent amount of chatter. We are just going to get carving.
No shit about the shit we're in out here. Gary. Mateo! Westridge. Oh, you bloody poopy. This guy. A bloody nightmare. Kangaroo Q. I like that. Tiny little catfish. I don't think so. This guy. Getting the hell back to LA. As you say, Chefe. That is common freaking sense.
Alrighty. I finished carving up those blocks right there. I left the ink on them so that when I carved them out, I could see exactly which chatter I wanted to get rid of. And I'm just putting that ink right back on that pane of glass there and spreading it out so that I can apply it onto the blocks. And I learned my lesson the last time. I don't know if it's the fabric or if it's the paint. I don't know, beginner's time, whatever you want to call it. But I really have to gloop this on here, so it's not really showing up if I do it lightly. But online it says not to gloop it. Anyway, here I have my scrap fabric. I'm applying it some more, and we're just going to do some more testing before I put it on our actual fabric, and I will show you the results at the very end of this. Alright guys, hello, I'm back. I'm finally done. We have the finished product, kind of, and we have our blocks right here and right over here. I did okay in terms of this project, but I definitely could have done better. It's a learning curve, I guess. It wasn't the right choice for the fabric, mostly, I think. And I originally used the cotton canvas fabric, like I said. It had diagonal slits on it, similar to corduroy, and it just didn't take the print very well. The ink didn't really sink in all the way. I ended up using just a plain cotton, scrap fabric. It took it better except for right there, but that's because I was doing the printing inside because it was hot and I was doing it on my ironing board. That's my bad, but I kind of do like the effect. I'll take that into account for future block printings. Here we have the blocks right there. I cleaned it off, but there's still a little extra. It's just all the leftover stuff. No biggie. It's not going to harm if I reuse these blocks. So here's the fabric. We started off with the name. There's a little bit of the chatter, but overall it's way better. And then here I didn't get a good press. And there it was better, but because of the back, it was like sheets and I didn't feel like undoing it. So it has that line there. And it took me a while to actually learn that lesson. So I tried it again. I tried it there, and I tried again there, and I tried again there, and there is when I finally figured it out. But I said, I'm not undoing it, so I just kept going. and I was just trying to get the right press. There's when I did it too much. I feel like that one's the most perfect. And here's other ones. This one, it's a little bit less like loaded up, and this one's okay too. Well, they're okay. Mostly I just didn't want to waste the ink, so we keep going. I feel like that one is pretty much the best, but it did have a little like side chatter. I didn't cut off the edges at the time. See how the record is now round instead of square. It took me a while to figure it out. But those are the blocks at the end, and that's about it for this project. All right, guys, that's the end of the show. I'll see you here next week where we'll be doing another movie review and another craft.